All right. What's up, guys? My name is Sarah B. This is my brother,
Andy B, aka Big Brother.
and you're listening to and watching the I Got Five on It podcast. A podcast where we go and we watch movies on our bargain night for $5. So, what's good? What movie did we watch?
We watched Halloween.
Halloween 2018.
2018, yeah.
That's not the name of the full title, but
I think it's actually like, if you see some of the movie posters, it's called like, they put as Halloween Returns. Or
I didn't know slogan.
I didn't know if it was like a tagline or something like that.
I'm pretty sure it's a tagline.
Yeah.
I think it's just called Halloween, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's just called Halloween.
It's not a remake. It is actually the next chapter to the Halloween series.
Yes.
There has been 4 prior Halloween movies that were released in theaters.
Like 11.
Oh, 11.
Yes.
Oh. 4 of them with Jamie.
And they erased them all. And they're like, okay, there's the first one and then there's this one now. And you can just toss all of them into like a flaming garbage can.
So let's talk about some of the Halloween movies.
Well, first I want to say that this isn't like, we typically are going to go see like kind of wild, bombastic, like fun type movies that we know are going to kind of be bad. But this one we're going in, we know this one's going to be a good movie.
I actually wasn't sure. I was just excited to see
No?
it. It looks stupid.
There is that slight potential of it like being one of those sequels that's so far off from the original that it could lose some of its magic or be like not quite right. Kind of like how I felt about like The Incredibles 2. Like it was like way too far off and it just didn't quite capture that same magic. Mm-hmm. But I felt like more confident going into this one. I felt like it was going to be a good movie.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because
that's what I felt like anyway.
The only reason why I thought it might be good is because of prior reviews. But in reality, I didn't think it was going to be good at all. It looked pretty bad to me. But I was sold on the reviews. So I was like, I'm going to give it a chance.
I was sold on the trailers. I thought the trailers were suspenseful.
I thought the trailers were good too. I think they were well edited, but at the same time, I still didn't trust them because it's Halloween.
Because it's Halloween. Yes, and like they have a pretty bad track record.
And let me express my appreciation for the first Halloween. Great movie. Great movie. Scared the shit out of me when I was 11 years old and I watched on AMC by myself in my mom's room.
Yeah.
I was very shooken up and very scared for the rest of the day. But the rest of the movies.
Did you watch it in the morning?
Yeah. It was like a Saturday morning, Sunday morning. I think Dad was watching like John Wayne movies. And I was like sitting.
That's a whole day of terror.
I love John Wayne. But the other movies afterwards, I think I seen Halloween 2, like half of it on TV, and I didn't like it. Everyone always wants to talk about Halloween H2O.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
It's like a constant joke.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm telling my brother to get slightly closer to the mic. Every time we record, while I'm doing the editing, he's like a little bit lower than me. I know I have a loud voice, but he's like quite a bit lower than me. So I'm like, come on.
Yeah. Anyway.
So what else?
So you want to get into it?
Yeah. I mean, do you want to talk about the other movies? I didn't see any really the other movies. Have you seen them?
What other movies?
The Halloween movies. What?
Oh.
What other movies are we talking about?
Dude, I've seen some of them, but it's been so far off that I could not remember like anything that goes on in them. I remember like they kept sticking in like 90s like pop people and rap people and like.
Wasn't like Ludacris in one, or am I remembering that wrong?
I think I know Coolio was in one.
That's what I'm
thinking. And I
know
LL Cool J was in another one.
Hip hop legends.
Well, one of them.
Yeah. Sorry, Coolio.
Sorry, you're out.
So yeah, let's get into the beginning of this movie. Let's get into the setup. So it starts with following these 2 podcast investigators as they are walking through a hospital of a sort, like a mental hospital with a doctor, and they're talking about Michael, his number one.
It's like a prison / mental facility. It's for criminally insane people, I believe. Mm-hmm. What I found interesting about this part is that that this was like a place that they were doing research with some of these people. Mm-hmm. Like it was like and this sets up like a whole crux of the movie is that Michael Myers was under study here.
Yeah.
It was like under continued observation by some of the psychologist teams that were like worked with him when he was a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so that kind of sets up something. So
Yeah.
these podcasters come in and they want to, they're doing like a whole expose on his murders and all the research, because we find out at this point that they're going to be transferring him to a facility where he is going to be just locked away forever. And like they're not going to be trying to study him or research him or get anything out of him anymore. They're just putting him away because he's just too dangerous and nobody's ever going to see him again.
Yeah, and it's kind of gives up the question of like what's humane. And is it not humane when someone's so evil to lock him up? So I think that was the search. They were kind of trying to figure out Michael and understand why he did the things he did and so on and so on. So during this time, they're in the hospital. They are now introduced to Michael. Right. And he's outside in the playground with a bunch of other psycho people.
Yes.
And
chained to a boulder.
Yeah, chained to a boulder in a painted square.
Yes.
When I first saw this, what did you think? Because when I first saw it, I was like,
It was very like I want to say like Alice in Wonderland kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Like it was like a big chessboard almost. Like, and they were like, okay, like don't go past these yellow lines, because I wonder if somebody like had gone past the yellow lines.
Like an automatic execution. Like
yeah. Like, or no, like I thought like that was his arm reach or something.
Oh.
Like I thought like somebody has gotten that close and like that was the last person that died got that close to him. Like,
no, because all of them had the square.
Yeah. I just wondered if people had like different size squares, or like was it like a standard size? Like
I think it was like I think what they were implying is that if you crossed the line, like some cop was just gonna fucking take them out.
Yeah. Or
officer.
it was like too dangerous for you to be beyond that yellow line. That's what I got.
Yeah, like at that point they can't save you.
Yeah, like you're just you're like meat in the lion's cage at that point.
So the podcaster guy, which I do like the involvement of podcasts in this movie. Yes. Kind of gave a little sense of credit.
We are investigative reporters. And then that lady gives it up later. She's like, we're podcasters.
So he pulls out the Michael mask.
Yes. Like I was really, they didn't explain how he got it. Like they did kind of explain where he got it from, but like not how like somebody would actually give it to him. Like,
yeah. I thought that
he's
was
like,
strange.
the district attorney let me borrow this. I was like, why? Like this is like evidence in a murder. Like,
yeah, like, how do you know that?
Yeah, did you get the knife too? Did you get blood samples? Like, why is he getting all this stuff?
So he has the mask and he's like, Michael.
Yes, he's trying to get like Michael to say something, because like that's
reaction.
That's the whole thing, that he hasn't said a single word like since I think he was like 6 or something like that, and like this is the last chance for somebody to try to get something out of him
before he's locked away forever.
Yeah.
And so he's like, Michael, and he's starting to set off like this weird energy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part.
Now the dog's barking. All the other mentally ill people are starting to yell and go crazy.
Yeah, they're all like making whoop whoop noises,
yeah, like,
and
he's
like
hyping everybody up, and like even the podcaster guys, they're getting nervous, and the doctor's like looking around, like I've never seen this before.
Oh man, I felt like it was like coming from Michael though. I didn't feel like it was like the investigator was doing it. I felt like
it was Michael.
It was like Michael's like energy, like he was so like still and quiet, didn't even move like an inch, I don't think, but like you could like just the energy of evil like pulsing from him.
And the
like,
podcaster is like, you feel it, Michael?
Yeah, like you could see him. He was like sweating. Like he did a really good job of like emoting that feeling that like he was actually scared.
Yeah. Cuts, and then there's the intro, Halloween. I'm gonna talk about what I really liked about this little cut into like the movie beginning. It reminded me of like good old 70s horror movies when they would do that. Like they'd have like an intro scene and then bam, like a blunt intro titles.
And like I remember the first Halloween movie is like the first movie I seen that in.
Yeah, and I love that they used the same font from the original horror movie, like Halloween movie. I thought that was super cool.
And then is this when we get the time lapse of the
pumpkin,
the decaying pumpkin backwards, like it's from like mush to pumpkin again?
Yeah,
to jack-o'-lantern.
I thought that was really cool and interesting about how they did that. That was a smart idea.
Yeah.
What else? After that, then the movie kind of goes back.
Well, we catch up with the podcasters again, or the investigators again, and they are going to see Jamie Lee Curtis's character at her
House.
But it's kind of like a compound. Like she has like a electronic fence, and she has
she just has like a crazy like secured house. Like it looks like a house. She just owns like property because she's afraid that like.
But there was some sort of fence they had to get through.
Just a gate.
It had like razor wire, and it was like pretty. I thought it was pretty
Deep.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like a fence around like some property.
Well, I remember they had to be buzzed in at least.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And what I couldn't get is like later on in the movie, like they don't use that fence at all. Like they're just like, just leave it open, I guess.
No, I guess, well, maybe they just don't show it.
Yeah,
but like, I think
I'm
expecting
weird.
they're using it. Yeah. So the podcasters start asking her questions about Michael on that night in Halloween. And the only reason why she did the interview is that they offered her $3,000 to do it. So she talks to them for a bit, and she's basically telling them, like, he's evil. Like, there's nothing to understand. You'll never understand it because he's not to be understood. Like, he's pure evil.
She's like, there's nothing to know about him except he's just an evil guy, and he'll kill anybody in his way. And there's no reason behind what he does. He just is a killer.
Yeah. And he's like, I can't believe that.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, get the fuck out.
Yeah. She's like, this is over. Zip.
He starts going to be like, but you're a bad mom.
Yeah. Like
and it's like, what? Like,
they dropped a bad mom card on her, and they're like, she's like, all right, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, like, he's like, what? Why you have to be that way about things? Like, there's no reason to act that way. So after that, we go back to the hospital where they're shipping now Michael to his new